And now, for the moment I've all been waiting for, we finally get to talk about Daredevil Born Again. Oh my god. I am so happy.
How do you
Uh,
want to do this? Take this episode by episode?
yeah.
Episode 1 and episode?
Yeah.
All right.
As you all know, I just recently rewatched Daredevil,
You made a
the
big claim
the
on
Netflix
this.
on it, the Netflix show, and
Claim on this
I
podcast.
said that I think Daredevil 3 is probably my number 3 show of all time. I've always struggled figuring out what it is, and upon rewatch, like, it's just an unreal show. So my excitement for Born Again was through the roof, even more so than it already was. I'm very glad that I rewatched the original Daredevil. So, yeah, so we got the 2 episode premiere. You see the return of Matt Murdock and Karen and Foggy, and you get some Wilson Fisk and some Bullseye. Yeah, and you just kind of see it basically starts off. You kind of get to catch up with these characters a little bit until some stuff goes down. And the big thing that happens that we'll talk about here in a second is obviously like the catalyst for the rest of the show, of all the events of the show. But yeah, right off the bat, man, it was so cool seeing all of them walk out and go to the bar together to Josie's. Foggy still got his way with women. He was a ladies' man in the Daredevil show. Still a ladies' man, but yeah, it's just kind of cool to see them like really officially in this MCU world and how life is down in Hell's Kitchen, where they're at. And everything seems to be going great. Everything, they're having a great time at the bar. And then Foggy gets a phone call, and shit hits the fan. Do you want to take the reins?
Yeah, man. So, obviously, we get this, just a really cool scene. Matt is listening, obviously, to Karen talk about whatever it was. And, he has the heightened senses. So, he hears Foggy, and it kind of pans through the crowd of everything he can hear solely on Foggy. He said something's wrong. They get up and go out there. And Foggy makes the comment after they have a couple words that I didn't want to
Involve
you again or force to involve you again. Matt just turns around, looks at him, and we see what has been so long. Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and he uses his little, I don't even know what to call him.
The little batons.
Yeah, little
batons.
batons.
With the string on it.
He goes up, you see a cool shot, which has been getting hate on Twitter. Why can't you just watch cool stuff and just shut up and watch? Stop doing that. You're just being a hater. We get him running across, and that's when we see Bullseye on the phone with the little clicks, aiming
down a scope at Mr. Foggy Nelson. Yeah, as I'm sure if you all watch, you guys know what happens. Yeah, Bullseye shoots Foggy. It was all like a misdirect thing. He got Matt away from him.
Right through the heart.
And then shot Foggy right in the chest. And then basically, like, Matt gets there just a little bit too late. We get an epic, awesome fight sequence between Matt and Bullseye
Throughout the
in
bar
the bar, up the staircase, all the way to the roof. It was a oneer. It was, Daredevil's known for its cool oneers and fight sequences. And you literally get that in the first 10 minutes here. Absolutely incredible, like, one shot. And throughout the whole fight, Matt can hear Foggy's heartbeat.
It is.
It's like slowly slowing down.
It is unreal. Because you are so invested in the fight, but all I can think about is the heartbeat, and it's slowly getting further apart. You can tell that it's not looking good. Karen is just emotional and trying to just cover the blood coming out of his chest. And when he gets to the top and Bullseye's looking over and he said, why would you do this? And he looks over and he can hear the last heartbeat of Foggy in there. Bullseye just laughs. It's sinister. I did this because I can, and there's nothing you can do about it. He laughs. He pats Matt on the shoulder as it's a joke. And Charlie Cox, man, the emotion in that, 20 seconds is unreal. He screams, he yells, and he just breaks. He breaks. He throws Bullseye right off that damn ledge. And no remorse. He breaks down, and obviously Karen, I think it was a cool little part. She gasped,
because
probably
she
thinking
didn't know.
She probably thinks it's Matt.
She didn't know who it is. Yeah, she
turns around. She obviously has a sigh of relief.
She's over on Foggy. She's already lost one of her friends, and when she hears that, it's like, oh my God, did I just lose both of them?
Yeah.
And she slowly turns around. She's covered in blood and realizes it's Bullseye. But, just literally the first 15 minutes of this, after all this time waiting, and this is how the show starts, I couldn't have had it a better way. Obviously, we're very sad that Foggy died. He was absolutely credible in the original show. So, but I was listening to creators talk about it, and they were like that we needed a reason to come back. We needed a reason for the storyline to happen, for find out why Matt had retired as Daredevil, and this was the reason. So. Obviously, he's gonna come back as Daredevil. But there was a year-long gap after Foggy died after the events of that night, and he basically is done with Daredevil. Karen leaves, moves to San Francisco.
Yep. I think they moved his law firm is not even in Hell's Kitchen anymore. I think
he works for Matt works for a different higher up law firm with that other girl. So yeah, right off the bat, after all that happens, with our original core three, they all get split up, and I don't honestly know how much more we're going to see of either one of them, in the rest of the show. I think the director said that you still will see some Karen and Foggy, both in this season and in the next season, somehow. I imagine on flashbacks, and maybe. Matt might, kind of see him as a ghost or something, because he did that in seasons 2 and 3 of Daredevil. He saw the ghost of Fisk a lot. So they're all split apart. Matt's had a new law firm, and Fisk is back. He's finally back in New York after the events of Hawkeye and Echo. He had all of the work done on his eye because Echo shot him in the eye.
Cool little.
Yeah, a little
ode to that.
Yeah, and you never watched Echo, did you?
I didn't watch Echo, but I watched Hawkeye. I did not watch Echo.
It's okay. But basically, Fisk is finally back in New York, reunited with Vanessa. We find out that Vanessa is kind of taking over the business, the crime business.
She's kind of a kingpin.
She's kind of the kingpin right now. And Fisk just decides to run for mayor, and he gets elected. He gets elected as mayor of New York. Because that happens towards at the end of the episode. Real quick, just to recap the rest of the first. It's a lot of just why or what. Oh, we get the trial of Bullseye and which just a cool little moment there too. By the way, Charlie Cox, man, he just didn't even miss a step. He's very good. Him and Karen's interaction and the little mannerism he has when he hears Bullseye is guilty. He's serving consecutive, I think 6 life sentences. He's he just screams and through anger and happiness he's not gonna see him again, which we're definitely gonna see Bullseye again. Let's be honest. I hope we do. He's so cool.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. And then it's a great episode. Like he said, the first 15 minutes is so good. Because how do you get back after so long, and how do you capture audiences again? How do you reel them back in?
That's how you do it.
You don't always have to kill a character, but you not only did you kill a character, you killed a character that is universally like.
He's probably the most beloved character in any of like.
Literally, like
a lot of Marvel
everyone
stuff.
loves Foggy, and man, you can see the light fading from his eyes too. Like, man, it's such a good first episode. Cole made the comment. I don't even know if he remembers it, that it is one of the best
pilots
of a superhero show.
I think it's the best pilot
of a superhero show like ever. I can't disagree. I think it is really, really good.
Yeah, no, the only pilot that I would compare it to isn't even MCU or DC. The pilot of The Boys is really, really good. Whenever you watch that, I'm sure you'll agree. But
that's on my.
Yeah, and then also in the episode, like I said, it's a year later. Fisk is running for mayor. Matt and Fisk reunite in an awesome scene in a diner.
So good.
Just them two in a diner, talking. After all this time, they've both been through a ton since the last time we saw them together. At the end of Daredevil season 3, Matt, basically wins. He gets Fisk. Fisk is gone back to jail, and then somehow in between that and now, Fisk has gotten out, and now he's like the mayor of New York. I don't really know how all that turned around, but I imagine the blip had something to do with it. He probably got out during or after the blip,
Maybe he didn't get blipped, and there weren't enough. He just ran out. He could have. I mean,
I don't know. But
probably never be answered, but who cares?
Might not. But anyways, Fisk is back, and he's not in really any trouble when he gets elected as mayor of New York. And New York is obviously in the show, like, they're very, very divided on it.
Yeah, I think the election was relatively close. It wasn't like a landslide. He didn't like win 90% or anything. It was still relatively close. But I think it should be talked about the ending of that episode where Matt's walking through the street and
he's walking in the streets, like kind of in the slums with, lit up kind of by the red lights.
Yep.
And stuff. And then you got Fisk on the roof, like looking down with the white after he's being elected, and it's kind of like shows, both of them kind of coming back into their characters. Like Fisk is finally at the top again. He's illuminated in white. He always has the white suit on, and then you got Matt, like,
signature Daredevil
in the shithole of Hell's Kitchen with people all around him, and he's like covered in red. Just unbelievable.
It is so like
unbelievable cinematography.
It's literally so like it's not even anything like, I wouldn't say next level. It is basic, but it shows you how much lighting can just play into it. It's such a good ending to the first episode because it was a roller coaster of an episode. I would think, like, you were just up and down, and at the end you're like, holy cow, let's watch the second episode. And yeah, but the first episode, I agree, is one of the best pilots of a superhero show, comic book show, probably ever.
I literally can't name you another one other than maybe The Boys. Like, even Loki's probably the best MCU show we've gotten, and I mean,
even the pilot wasn't.
That pilot wasn't necessarily the best part, you know.
Yeah, the only one that I think it has like a really, really good pilot because of the way it's like keeping us out of the loop was Moon Knight, but this one is better than Moon Knight. Yeah, man, it's really good. I don't know. They kept us way invested into it after the long hiatus, and they came out with a sprint. And not only did they care about, they really did focus on the emotion of Matt Murdock and how Foggy's death like affected him, and how he's acting the way he is, why he's not Daredevil. He explains all of that, and yeah, it is like a very good setup to what this season could be. I'm super excited.
Yeah. So, right off the heels of that, we get episode 2. Got a little 2-episode drop, which I'm glad they did. Mm-hmm. And you just kind of get to see Fisk like transitioning, into his role as mayor, and he's kind of like come to terms with the fact that like, I am the mayor of New York. You also find out like him and Vanessa have been having problems because he was gone for so long. Vanessa apparently cheated on him. So now they're in therapy with the girl that Matt is hooking up with, of course. But
that was set up. He didn't,
You think? But
no. Because remember, his other attorney that works with him said that she needed a lawyer and that he needed therapy, which he probably could use therapy, but whatever.
Yeah, but old Matt Murdock, he's just got away with the women. But yeah, so you meet her, you meet the therapist. You meet from season 1 of Daredevil. You remember Ben Urich, the news reporter who Fisk murdered. He choked him out, and then apparently I think it was his niece. Mm-hmm. I think she said her uncle Ben. Interesting. Mm-hmm. She said her uncle was Ben Urich, and she's basically a little video news reporter kind of on the streets kind of thing. And I think her name was BB mm-hmm. Urich, and she goes and interviews Fisk, and it's kind of, the audience knows what really happened. Maybe she doesn't. Fisk obviously knows what happened, and really, really cool moment if you remember that from season 1 of Daredevil. Yep. I'm curious to see if she has, more of a part to play, or maybe if she somehow discovers the truth. But basically, as Fisk is in office, he's kind of going back and forth with I need to stay clean. I'm the mayor now. This is Vanessa. But then as the course of the episode goes on, you kind of see Fisk kind of going back into his old ways of manipulating people. The police chief threatens to leave. And then he threatens the police chief with pictures of his family that they took. So Fisk is still up to no good. As I'm sure we all suspected, but now he's in this huge role of power. So somehow he's gonna have to balance that with, being a murderous psychopath. So, what else did we get this episode?
Well, I feel like at the very beginning we find. Can you look up the actor's name for White Tiger? Because I do want to get it right. Yeah. So we get and his name in the show because I want to get it right. And I don't want to mess anything up. But yeah, we see kind of a little storyline of Hector Ayala is his name in the show.
Hector Ayala is White Tiger.
And Kamar de los Reyes. Who sadly passed away in 23 after a battle with cancer. So rest in peace to him, because he was actually really good in this episode. Mm-hmm. But Hector basically walks into the subway and sees two guys beating up another guy. And Hector, if you know, or if you don't know, is White Tiger, who is a vigilante, kind of like Daredevil. But I think he doesn't have any real power. I don't think he has anything like Matt Murdock has, I guess.
His amulet has power.
That's what it was.
He has a mystical amulet that gives him some kind of power.
So he walks down and he starts to try to be like, hey, y'all cut it out. And finally, he gets on one of the guys, and it turns out that those two guys are cops. And the guy getting beat up runs away, and they end up arresting Hector. Basically, they'll make it look like he attacked the two.
And killed one.
Yeah, he threw one in front of a subway, which was sick, by the way. Pretty freaking cool. Throws one in front of the subway car, and he gets evaporated. He's gone. And he gets arrested. The cops are trying to play it as if he went down there unprovoked and killed a police officer. So Matt Murdock hears about the case. He wants to take the case, and the firm is telling him it's too big of a case or it's too risky. Don't take it. But he's like, I want to take it.
He never likes taking the easy route.
Yeah, obviously. And basically what happens, what we find out through whatever her name is, the attorney, the partner, and I'm blanking on names right now.
The investigator?
Yeah, the investigator.
His name was Cherry.
Yeah.
I remember that.
They go into the apartment of the wife who they've been divorced. The investigator's snooping around a little bit, and he finds the White Tiger outfit. Obviously, Kingpin has already made a statement. He makes it a statement that vigilantes will not be tolerated in the city of New York. So Hector is already, now he's kind of in double trouble. Matt does the smart thing and says, basically, to get thrown out that evidence for the trial. You can't use the White Tiger evidence for the trial. So that's kind of where it gets to. It doesn't get much further than that into the trial or anything. We see some like basic like pre-trial stuff, but basically we find out Hector is White Tiger, but that evidence gets thrown out, and which the biggest part of the show is at the end. So that's why I'm trying to not get there. But the goal is to try and find the guy who's being beat up by the two cops. That was the goal they were trying to find. Well, finally we get to it at the end of the episode. Matt is a genius and can hear everything, so he finally hears the address of where the dude is, and the two cops, or one of the cops that was down there, he's going to go to the house and take care of him, obviously. Matt beats him there. He is basically explaining to this guy, you're going to need a good lawyer. You need to get out of here. They're coming to kill you. And what the guy can't hear that Matt can hear is them coming into the building and walking up the stairs. He's like, you have 15 seconds. You have 10 seconds. And then that's when he starts to hear them. You can take this part away. It is absolutely awesome.
Yeah, so Matt gets to him just quick enough, and he escapes like down the, what are those called?
Fire escape.
The fire escape. I don't know if he went to the roof or the ground. No, he said Cherry was waiting in the car on the ground, his investigator, to pick him up. So he escapes. The cops walk in. They just see Matt. They talk to him at first. Then they kind of beat the shit out of him. And you can tell so hard, like Matt is trying so hard to not fight back. He doesn't want to get back into Daredevil mode. He's been sober from being Daredevil for a year. He don't want to get back into it. And what is he saying?
He's like, you don't want to do this.
He's like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. And when you think he's talking to them, but he's actually talking to himself.
He's talking
to himself. They got a gun to his head. He's like, you don't want to do this. You don't want to do this.
They're like, yeah, let's take care of him. Let's take care of him.
And then, of course, Matt just absolutely just obliterates them, breaking elbows,
violent as
slamming people on the fridge, and just slamming dudes, breaking his. He had to have broke his neck. Yeah, you're the chiropractor here. Yeah, no, dude, gets his face slammed, neck broken. I don't know, Matt. I think he had a lot of pent up anger over everything, and just kind of unleashed it on these two cops. And basically, after that happens, he's all bloodied up, and he picks up his red glasses that have, been cracked, and he just lets out like a blood-curdling scream, and the episode ends.
It is pure,
cinema.
It is exactly. Even the comment, the easy thing. Obviously, he's saying, don't do this. He's talking outwards to the cops. Obviously, that's the easy answer. He is telling himself, please do not go back down this route. Once you do this, there is no coming back. It is you are going to be Daredevil if you take this route. And boy, does he take that route. He breaks that dude's arm. Blood is staining his long sleeve shirt. He smokes that dude, throws him on the ground. His neck bends in the most awkward, makes you clench up way. And he's sitting over these two guys. And he just he's breathing heavy, but he just calmly picks up those glasses. He's not he's not doing any of that. He picks up his glasses, he puts them on, and he lets it out.
Yeah, he lets the devil out. So, I think that these first two episodes were kind of like, how is Matt going to get back into being Daredevil, and then you get it at the end of this. So, I know, during the course of production, and then when the trailers came out and everything, the Netflix creator, or the Born Again creators were saying, it's just as, graphic and, bloody as the Netflix show, and you're just kind of thinking in your head, no way.
There's
they're not going to do that. They're not going to have it that dark and, violent. And by God, they did. It's very much a mature show. Got some F-bombs in it, so that's how it's not, for the kids. It's a dark, violent, gritty, serious show.
And we brought this up when they were gonna do Deadpool and Wolverine. Are they gonna keep it true? Well, they did there, and damn it, they did here too. it is not any less like graphic, dark, gritty, choreographed at all. No. It is just as good as you remember.
If not even a little more so. And based off stuff we've seen in the trailers, like it just he messes some people up this season. So I'm excited to see more of it. He's finally kind of back in the role, and that's kind of where we leave it. I'm trying to think of anything we left out. I don't think so. I think that kind of covered everything. We'll have to see kind of how the trial with Hector turns out. Now we also get our first look at Muse. Potentially, we think it's Muse.
We know it's Muse.
I don't know much about Muse at all, like who he is or what he does.
Apparently, he's insane.
And he gets
a book signed.
He gets a book signed by the therapist that Matt is hooking up with, who also now
is counseling
Fisk and Vanessa. So,
this therapist is about to be in the middle of everything, and she doesn't even know.
Everything's intertwining, but curious to see kind of how he plays in. Is he a vigilante? Like, is he good or is he a villain? I don't even know. Is Muse a villain?
I think he's a villain. Yeah.
So I guess we'll have to see.
I actually was going to watch a video on it, but I didn't want it spoiled, so that's why I didn't watch a video on it. So, anyways, but yeah, no, Muse is coming for sure. Obviously, Kingpin is going to play a gigantic role.
I really hope we get more of Wilson Bethel as Bullseye, because he did. And, God, that 15-minute scene. Oh my God.
Yeah, Bullseye will be back. I have no doubt that Bullseye will be back. We don't know how he survived. In the comics, Cole found out that he has an adamantium skeleton.
At the end, I don't know if you even remember, at the end of season 3 of Daredevil, Fisk throws him up against the corner and he breaks his back. He's paralyzed.
Yeah.
And the literal last scene of it, it's almost like an after credit scene type thing. Is him laying down, with his back cut open, and they're surgically repairing it. So in the comics, apparently they gave him an adamantium
skeleton. He's still, Wolverine at least has a healing factor. Bullseye doesn't. He just has an adamantium skeleton that doesn't break.
Who knows?
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's going to be very cool. We will see more Bullseye, I would imagine.
And then the last thing, then we can get to our movie review, but we also get the Dirty Cops. We notice they have Punisher tattoos. So it's kind of teasing the Punisher coming. Maybe.
What I think it is they think that the Punisher enacts a certain type of vengeance type deal. They think they're cleansing. Punisher is not going to be very happy when he finds out that these cops are doing that.
And that's how I think he's going to get.
And Punisher will be definitely happy to cleanse of a couple dirty cops. So.
Yeah. So I think that was a cool kind of little, teaser for him. I'm curious to see what old Frank Castle's been up to and kind of how he ties into this. Because we really haven't seen him since this show. At least we've gotten Charlie Cox as Daredevil in a couple things. We got him in No Way Home, Echo, She-Hulk. So, yeah, I'm curious to see, what Frank Castle's been up to. But I'm sure here in the next couple episodes we'll get him because, we saw those tattoos and he's not going to be very happy that these cops are, they think that...
He will not be happy. Yeah. He will be going straight for him, and that's what makes the Punisher the Punisher, man. No one is,
No one's safe.
Not
even the cops. So, I don't... I'll rate the whole show when it comes out, but I will say that pilot episode was a 10 out of 10. It was so good. It's one of the best pilots to any show I've honestly probably ever seen, at least in the past 10 years or so.
Not gonna say worth the wait because I'm really mad that we even it got canceled and we had to wait and all that, but they did make it fulfilling that now that the wait is over. We are very, very happy that it is back. So, good job from the Born Again creators and writers and cinematographer. They did such a good job. Kudos to them. They made it worth the while.
Great acting. Fighting sequences are great. The lighting, directing.
Fantastic job.
The sound work especially. because he's deaf. That's a huge part of it. So
yeah, absolutely.
Literally every you got the old score back, the old theme. Yep. Oh my God! So everything's firing on all cylinders. I absolutely love the first 2 episodes. I am beyond pumped for the rest of the show. I think the next couple weeks we just get 1 episode, and then randomly in the middle of the season we get 2.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 or 3 are just 1. I don't know why they're doing it like that. I
thought it was going to beat the Thunderbolts, but I don't think it's even going to.
No, it is.
Oh, is it? I thought it was going to...
Yeah, no, I think that's kind of maybe why they did it. Maybe they wanted it wrapped up before Thunderbolts. I'm curious to see if it has any kind of tie-in. I'm curious to see if there's any MCU cameos. I think the director or the writer or whatever, I think he teased some major MCU cameos. So, we'll have to see who that is.
Absolutely.
Prediction is I feel like we might get Kate Bishop or some kind of smaller characters like that, but
or we can get Spider-Man. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We got his cameo already.
Sony's not going to let that happen.
Well, we got his cameo already.
Sorta.